Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. First of all, today finally, Mr. Sohail Afridi's cabinet is going to take oath, and it has been officially announced who will be included as ministers. However, there is quite an uproar about one female minister not being included. We'll talk about that too. Also, preparations have been fully completed to officially put Imran Khan Sahib in solitary confinement. Let's tell you what new step has been taken in that regard. Along with that, the declaration regarding the talks and negotiations with Afghanistan was released last night. That's also very important, because the environment that had been created on social media and the statements of ministers made it seem as if there was absolutely no agreement possible between both sides. But the declaration tells a completely different story. Apparently, a good one. So we'll talk about that too. There's quite a lot in this vlog. I request you to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So, let's first talk about Imran Khan Sahib's solitary confinement. As you all know, Imran Khan currently has two ongoing cases under trial. One is the Toshakana 2 case, and the other is the military trial, the GHQ attack gate case. Technically, that's also a military trial in a sense, because the way the courts are working, everyone knows what's going on. So, as far as these two cases are concerned, you already know that the Toshakana case is almost complete. And suddenly, as the saying goes, the elephant has passed, only the tail remains. They've grabbed hold of that tail and are dragging it endlessly. Imagine this. The hearing has been postponed for an entire month, until November 29, even though only 1 or 2 hearings were left in that case. Meanwhile, in the GHQ attack case, not only were the hearings stopped, but at first, they were being held inside Adiala jail. Then a notification came to shift them to the anti-terrorism court. Then again, another notification brought the hearings back to Adiala jail. And now, once again, a new notification has been issued, saying that the GHQ attack gate case hearings will no longer be held in Adiala jail, but in the anti-terrorism court. And Imran Khan Sahib, who appears as the accused, will now attend through video link. Earlier too, they had tried to start this video link practice, but it caused massive problems. Imran Khan wasn't connected properly via video link. Instead, a call was made to him on the judge's WhatsApp number. Imran Khan couldn't see or understand the courtroom proceedings, nor could his lawyers communicate or consult with him. This made the trial a bizarre mockery, a farce basically. PTI raised its voice against this, even internationally. You might recall, Khawaja Asif once gave that infamous interview to Mehdi Hassan, where he was thoroughly embarrassed. In that very interview, Mehdi Hassan even mentioned this WhatsApp trial issue, asking, "What is this?" So this is something everyone knows. The whole world knows that Imran Khan is not being given a fair trial. After that, we saw that there was also concern that if Imran Khan appeared via video link in court, some picture or audio might leak. Because of that, the hearing was postponed again, and a notification was issued to restart hearings in Adiala jail. Then, 1 or 2 hearings were held there. But now, once again, that notification has been withdrawn, and the case has been moved back to the anti-terrorism court. So this has turned into a musical chairs game. A joke, clearly showing that Imran Khan is not getting a fair trial. Everything is being done at will, not according to any principle of justice. But you know how things are in Pakistan right now, like a jungle's law. Now, if Imran Khan is inside jail, and his attendance is marked through a WhatsApp call, you can imagine, he won't be allowed to meet anyone. He's already not allowed meetings on Thursdays, and only gets a brief 10 to 15-minute meeting with one of his sisters on Tuesdays. Even meetings with lawyers are not allowed. As a result, Imran Khan cannot even discuss or plan his legal strategy with his lawyers. Now, the Toshakana case has been delayed until November 29. The GHQ attack case will now also be heard in the anti-terrorism court. This means that for the entire month, Imran Khan will not be allowed to meet anyone. Complete isolation. And the reason is very clear. This is November. And during this month, any kind of protest politics, rallies, or demonstrations are absolutely unacceptable to the state. They don't want even a hint of pressure on the government. This month is particularly important because, on one hand, there's a lot of discussion about the Israel-Palestine situation, whether we'll send forces or not, what Pakistan's stance will be, and so on. There's confusion surrounding that. On the other hand, relations with Afghanistan remain tense, like a sword hanging over our western border, which could flare up at any time. And thirdly, as you know, November is always an important month for notifications, which is kind of a subtle reference to military appointments. So apparently the intention is to make sure that Imran Khan can't make any decisive statement, announce any political plan, or issue any call to action. His meetings have not only been restricted, but practically stopped. He's been placed in solitary confinement. So, this is today's major breaking news. The GHQ attack case trial has been shifted to the anti-terrorism court. And as I mentioned earlier about Afghanistan, there had been an impression that Pakistan might actually be preparing for war with Afghanistan, or that the situation might escalate dangerously, and the western border could remain in constant tension. Then, as you saw, talks were held, and in the talks, the situation kept appearing such that the negotiations were failing. And later, news came that after the talks had broken down, and the delegations were already on their way back, once again, after the intervention of Qatar and other friendly countries like Turkey, both sides sat back at the table. Last night it was reported that the delegations of Afghanistan and Pakistan have once again reached an agreement on one point, that the ceasefire will be extended. This means that both sides will refrain from taking any action against each other, and the ceasefire has now been extended until November 6th. Talks will resume again on November 6th. Along with this, an interesting clause has been added. If any country violates the ceasefire, it will have to pay a penalty, either a fine or some other form of punishment. So this new clause has been included in the agreement. Basically, PTI's stance is that all matters with Afghanistan should be resolved through dialogue. The government does sit for talks, but the person leading the negotiations, that is Khawaja Asif Sahib, the kind of statements he gives don't sound like they're meant to resolve issues. In fact, they sound provocative and worsen the situation. He uses threatening language and speaks about Afghanistan and the Afghan people in a way that spreads hatred. People like that are normally not sent for negotiations. Negotiations require responsible people. People who can talk in a way that reduces differences, not those who create new ones where none exist. Until last night, judging from his statements, it almost seemed as though we were preparing for a full-fledged attack on Afghanistan. But thank God, the news came at night that everything was reconsidered and redetermined, after which this new agreement was reached. So for now, the situation at the Afghanistan border has somewhat improved, though I still fear this is not a permanent ceasefire, and God forbid, tensions could flare up again at any time along the border. However, in this context, the PTI provincial government is actively making efforts on its own, and they are now trying to organize a joint meeting regarding this matter. Let's see what comes of it. The first and foremost task, of course, was to form a complete cabinet, and that process is happening today. The oath-taking ceremony must have been held by the time you're watching this vlog. It was scheduled for 3 p.m., and the ceremony was organized quickly last night after the notification was issued. According to that notification, the following individuals are taking the oath: Meena Khan Afridi, Arshad Ayub, Amjad Ali, Aftab Alam, Fazal Shakur, Khalikuzama, Riaz Khan, Aqibullah, Faisal Khan Tarkai, Muzammil Aslam, and Shafi Jan. Among these, Muzammil Aslam will serve as an advisor, while Shafi Jan is a special assistant. The rest are ministers who will take the oath. You can say that several of the previous ministers, about 6 or 7, from the old cabinet have been included again this time. And the news regarding Barrister Saif has turned out to be true. He has not been made part of the cabinet. This has satisfied many PTI social media activists. However, a lot of criticism started coming, even from some journalists, and then PMLN also jumped in thoughtlessly. The criticism was that no female minister has been appointed. Why hasn't a woman been given a ministerial position in Sohail Afridi's cabinet? Now this criticism is quite ridiculous, because anyone aware of the situation knows that PTI currently has only one female MPA, or member of the assembly. That woman won from a general seat, and she has already been appointed as the deputy speaker. Ms. Suraya is the deputy speaker of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Assembly. And for the first time ever, the KP Assembly has a female speaker, or deputy speaker. As for the other women, they were all supposed to enter the assembly through reserved seats. But as everyone knows, the issue of those reserved seats has been mishandled. The constitutional bench distributed PTI's reserved seats among opposition parties. So when PTI has no women left in the assembly on reserved seats, then who are they supposed to appoint as a minister? The only one they had is already deputy speaker. You need a woman in the assembly to make her a minister, and those seats were taken away and given to the opposition. So this criticism is completely baseless. In fact, the real criticism should have been that PTI's women were deprived of their constitutional right to reserved seats. If they had been allowed their seats, at least 1 or 2 female ministers could have been included in the cabinet. But here the situation is reversed. Everyone is busy criticizing PTI for not including women ministers, without using any common sense to ask, which women are even left in the assembly to be appointed? Their seats were literally snatched away. Anyway, people just look for any excuse to criticize. And Sohail Afridi Sahib is already being targeted these days. The way he's handling things, and his general style seem to be causing unease in some quarters. That's probably why he's constantly being attacked. One issue after another, without any real reason. This controversy, too, was one such attack, but it quickly lost momentum once everyone realized PTI simply had no female MPs available for cabinet positions. Anyway, now the cabinet has been formed, and ahead lies a tough road. Because now, after the formation of the cabinet, the real issues will begin. We'll have to see how this new Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government performs and fulfills its tasks. That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.